Hello! Okay, welcome to the video. This is going to be in two parts. This is part one. The first one is just how to play Battletech by yourself. Pretty straightforward. If you want to keep using Battletech rules, this is the video for you. If you don't want to convert things over to this other system or whatever, that's fine. All you need to know is what's in this video. I'll give you everything that I'm using from this other system, no quarter, and you can just take that and run with it. It's going to be pretty straightforward. You're probably going to work it out already. It's pretty easy to, figure. And then the second part is like if you actually wanted to convert over and use these rules so that you've got a bit more of an in-depth campaign experience that can happen. That's what second part will be about, but that'll be a later date. That's not today's list. So today we're just doing this. So let's say you want to play Battletech by yourself. This is the video for you. So first off, let's take a quick look at how the system works. You have to do a little bit of prep before you can make this work. This is the system 5150, no quarter. 5150 is like a much bigger game, and this is like an expansion to that. It's made by 2 Hour Wargames. They are pretty tops. I would highly recommend checking some of their stuff out. The system that's used in this is sort of used in everything. There's a lot of videos that are out and about, but like I said, most of them are for nuts, which is like a historical World War II one. And even then, not all of them explain it very well. We're just going to touch on the very basics of this system because we're converting what they use to be something that we can use in Battletech. Pretty straightforward. So without further ado, let's check that out. Now, the way they do this is they have sort of random encounters called PEFs, Possible Enemy Force. So PEF is what they use. So the way it works is pretty simple. I'll sort of explain it as I go. But the important part that you kind of need to do to prepare for this is this loading up PEFs part, right? So they do it randomly. You could do it however the heck you wanted, but let's take a quick look. So before the battle, they've got these different classes. Let's zoom in a bit. Whoa. Let's zoom in a bit so we can see what we need to see. So basically class 5 is assault, 4 heavy, 3 medium, 2 is light, and 1 is like a proto mech. Enemy campaign starts at 3 morale, so you're kind of adding 3 basically. Roll a d6, add 3, work it out where you are. Now, I've been using the Planetary Defense Force or the Free Companies ones because they seem to be pretty straightforward. Are they the same? They might even be the same. They look the same. Planetary Defense Force is what I've been playing with my Marek Militia guys. And basically, you roll your d6, you add your 3 to it, and then you come down here and you see what you got. A light mech, medium mech, whatever. Now, you might want to make a list, like I did, of mechs that you have. Or alternatively, the other thing you can kind of do is roll on one of the random unit assignment tables from Battletech, right? Battletech has those. I just rolled randomly 2 for each sort of category. I also put class 5, instead of being a proto mech, I just was like, it's one of the lightest mechs, a 20-ton mech, right? So, yeah. But you make this list yourself. You work out what the mech is that you're fighting, what the enemy is that you're facing. Is it a 3-4? Is it a 4-5? What is it? So you set that up ahead of time. And then what I did was I just made a list. You can see here, this is my ones with their actual rules. Well, where is it? That one. And I've just put a number next to it, right? Like 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. I made 12 up so that I can just when I generate it, I just randomly decide, roll 2d6. There it is. That tells me what it is that I got. So that's how I've been doing it. Pretty straightforward. So let's have a look. So the way this works, it's pretty straightforward. You divide your table up into 3 sections by 3 sections. So it's like a grid of 9. And it should be even. This is just quickly done to kind of show you guys. But you deploy your forces on 7, 8, 9. So if you want to randomly decide which table edge you're fighting from or whatever, you do that first. And then you deploy your forces in 7, 8, 9. So if you were deploying along this edge here, you would, oh, can we do that in this? No, wait, let me do it. Yeah, there you go. So if you're deploying along this edge here, you'd make that 7, 8, 9. And that would be then 5, 4, 3. Wait, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, So it'd be the enemies are coming on the opposite side of the battlefield to whatever you are. So in this case, I have this table edge, and I'm deploying from this hangar. I've got my little dudes coming out of the hangar there, and this is my town. And then we decide what are the enemy forces, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to roll a d6, and then that's going to give us a number between 1 to 6, which is one of these sets of things. And you do this 3 times. So the first one is 2, so we're going to put a marker here in 2. Now it has to be somewhere which is out of line of sight. So I'm just going to tuck it behind this outpost here. You can hide behind that building. Nicely done, right? So we see here, it's going to have, we might poke him around the corner, so once we get up to this point, we've got some line of sight over these walls. But that's the idea. It's out of sight to them over there, because we've got this big wall in the way, we've got these buildings. It has to be out of line of sight. If you, in a situation where it can't be out of line of sight, like let's say we had 6 here, there's not really a lot. I mean, there's this wall and building, whatever, but like, if you can't put it out of line of sight, then you put it in the middle. Is what they say. Anyway, we do this until there's 3. So the next one's 3. So we'll chuck him up here behind this rock. That's a pretty good spot. And then we'll do it again. Another one, 3. Easy peasy. And we'll put this one also behind the rock, but maybe over on this side. Pretty straightforward. So that's your thing. Now, the official rules, if we go back to page 22, they say, you know, put them... If there's a building, anytime a mech comes within 12 inches of a building, has line of sight to that building, generated PEF. Now, I messaged Ed, the THW guy. He's a really nice guy. On one of his YouTube videos, and he said that's an old rule. They don't really use it anymore. And you can imagine, like here, if we were to go here, like we're within 12 here. We're within 12 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like that's 8 PEFs that we have to, you know, generate immediately, and all of them could possibly be enemies. So if you want to play hardcore mode, do it every time you go near a building. You might even set up so it's every time you're near an enemy building. So we might say like this outpost, this generator, this hangar. Maybe they're enemy buildings, and maybe we would do that. That gives us a bit more range of this side of the board. If you're playing with a scenario, like, you know, you have to collect these crates or something, you know, maybe then, you know, that adds another layer to it and stuff like that. Anyway, the main point is we're looking for battle dudes. Here's what we do. And then we just go about our business playing the game as normal until we come into them. So I'm just going to use my spider here. He's got 12 run. We'll just run him straight up onto that bridge. And as soon as he gets here, or even back here, he's got line of sight to this guy. So we resolve that immediately, right? You can't see this one because he's behind a rock. But we can see this one. So the way we do that is we roll. Now in the game, they roll versus their rep. Their rep is kind of an all-in-one thing, which is like piloting, shooting, and initiative. Everything sort of comes under that. So if you wanted to do this, you'd probably do it versus their piloting, I would imagine, right? Whatever your pilot is it a 4, 5? Is it a 3, 4? Whatever your piloting is. You would roll against that. And you roll 2 dice, and you're trying to get above that number. And then the number of dice that get above that number, that tells you, you know, what it is. So if it's a 0, false alarm, nothing happens. But if it's the last one, then it counts as the big one. If it's a 1 passes, then you're close to something. And next time you'll roll 3 dice instead of 2 dice. And then this one is like, you know, you have contact, and you roll to see what it is. So let's do that now. What is it? 1d6, 5. Whoops, we have to roll twice. Versus my piloting of 4. So I've got 1 success. So next time I would resolve with 3 dice. I don't have any, you know, nothing there yet, but there's definitely something else there. So maybe I like jump jet over here, my 8. And look at that, we got another one. So we do that, and again, one of them is resolved, but not the other one. And you can do that. The other way you can do it is you can just roll flatly on that. So let's say I get a 6. And just as you come up to them, roll on the table, and you can decide what it is. 2 less than a triggering force, 1 less, same number as triggering force is 3 and 4. 1 more for 5, and then 6, 2 more. So in this case, I got a 6, so I would put 3 mechs down, right? Let's say, what's that? A locust. And let's say another locust, because, you know, starting to have locusts, sure, why not? And we'll throw in, I don't know, a Zeus. There you go. That's enough for my little dude to contend with. Now, when it says triggering force, it's whatever activated the PF. So if I had, you know, one of my wasps up here with me, when we come around the corner, you know, then you'd have extra mechs, right? Like, I don't know, a fire starter. There you go. But yeah, again, you can do that all through random generation, and then you just fight it out. Now, this also has a cool system because they have, like, how to react. So it assumes you're on a patrol one first, but you can have, like, defending or attacking. Attacking's a bit more complicated because you've got, like, they're attacking an objective as well. But yeah, you can just get these tables and use these tables and go off that. So if it's a patrol, the way it kind of works is they roll versus their campaign morale, which in this case is a 3, unless you're playing a full campaign and it adjusts each mission. You could, again, just roll against their piloting. And it's going to sort of tell you, like, what they do. So if none of them are more than whatever the number is, so like none of them are more than their piloting, you roll 2 dice. If 0 or more than their piloting, they will try to run away and flee. They've sort of been caught out off guard. If one of them is there, they will take cover, first of all. So they'll move into cover. Right. And, you know, fire from cover. This guy will go over here. And they will shoot from cover, and they will convert to a defend mission, where you would then roll on this table instead, where those with line of fire will shoot and move at half speed if you get 1 success, or move at full speed if you get 2, or if you get none, they will also flee or remain in place, right? Because they have nowhere to flee to because they're defending. And then, yeah, again, if you get 2, then they're going to be more successful, and they're going to, that once they either kill these mechs or you retreat, they will then just revert back to being patrol and just hang out here, or maybe move around, or what have you. Yeah, so that's the way they do it. That's the super simple version, and then you just continue until you had everything done. I'd highly recommend using some kind of an objective or whatever, where you're, like, you know, got stuff you got to do. Attack and defend is a good one. But yeah, that's the basics of how to do the Battletech by yourself and stuff. So that's pretty straightforward. I would highly recommend forking out the money to get this system, because it is kind of cool. I'm going to do another video, like I said, where I'm converting everything over to no mecha, and that's because there's no videos about no quarter mech stuff. So that's my plan anyway. Anyway, I hope you had a good time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.